I sat in my trade for 2 hours just to walk away with break even, but we'll take that over small red or big red trades. I followed my rules. I didn't move my stop loss. I stayed patient and I didn't get rewarded for it, but I guess I did because I didn't take a loss. So let's go over the trade here. You can see 20 bucks to my 3 top 1 futures accounts. So if you need an account with them, always feel free to use code Evan. They're running their best sale with my code right now. But let's go into the trade here and you'll see this is the 15 minute to start off the session. Clearly, we're being pinched between 3 VWAPs, but the one I want to make a note on first is this yellow one. Normally, that would be start of week, right? But being that it's only Tuesday, the start of week would actually be here on this Sunday. Let's turn that one yellow. That's pretty much the same as previous days in New York. I didn't have this on to start this session, and again, I don't follow it fully because, again, I've never made videos on it. But this is the same VWAP from last week's start of week. So the start of week VWAP we were using the week prior. You can see when we moved down today, that's exactly where we pinned off of on ES here, as well as on NQ. So once the move down came, we stalled and did not make another new low after that. So maybe that is something I will look forward to into the future and see if we can find some more plays away from there. But let's go into the open here and see all sellers. My Lord, just one retest to the New York VWAP and just rips lower. And this is still why the open range is setting. So I wasn't really interested in that short. And then you get the first break of open range low, and it just runs. So definitely no buyers in control or even just present to give it some sort of pullback. Now, like I was saying, going back to the 15-minute here, I was potentially liking longs. Let's rewind it here to see what it looked like heading into the open at 9:15 in the morning. When we look back at last week, the day prior, on the Monday, we made an all-time high. So I'm still pretty bullish. It's going to be tough to be a short seller when we're making all-time highs the day prior because all I could see is just anywhere around here wanted to be our next higher low. And then we move back higher in the direction of this trend. There's the higher high. So I'm coming into the market being bullish for that, as well as we are above this overnight view up in black. But something to keep in mind with that strong move up yesterday, and this is on NQ. ES was even worse. Let's go at ES real quick, just because it's the same idea. Look at how much more that reversed in the afternoon. But since yesterday at 1:30 in the afternoon, there have been no real buyers in control. It's still been moving lower with lower highs and lower lows. So although we are above the overnight heading into the open here, since 18 hours ago, there haven't really been buyers. We are still just continually falling lower. So let me be cautious and wait for a little bit more information on the longs. I said it pre-market and I said it on stream. If we can make a new high a day, like above 52 here, create some sort of higher high, then maybe that'll be the first sign that buyers are showing some sort of strength. So that would get me interested in the longs. We did not get that. You can see the open comes in and sends us right down below that overnight VWAP and underneath the previous day's New York. So now it is in fact looking like, yep, we are still making those lower highs. Let me look for shorts. But look for shorts, it just ran without us. I mean, this is the 15-minute chart. 2 of the biggest candles we've seen in quite some time here on NQ, just for a new low day. So tough to really capitalize on it. And then after that comes my trade. So let's go over the markup here and you can see the short. Quite some drawdown. I spent about 5 minutes in profit here. Couldn't take that lower day view up. Now, it's not the greatest sign, but it's not going to scare me out of my trade of, oh my God, sellers couldn't take control. Now, I don't hate this trade. I don't love this trade. Clearly, the direction is set that we want to be bearish. So far, it's been all sellers. But like we said, we looked at that start of week VWAP from last week. We bounced off of that, so maybe that's going to act as support. But also, it didn't fully come back to New York, so that's why I have a good stop loss. Not at current structure here. Give it more room to the previous structure above New York VWAP so it could really play around with it in case it's not done pulling back. Because there is no break of lower day VWAP yet saying sellers are 100% back in. So the fact that they're not 100% back in, the pullback may not be done. But this is a small turn around the New York VWAP. I don't want to miss the move if it does move lower from here. So I get in, willing to put on more drawdown if I have to, with the wider stop, but hopefully it would hold. And I don't move it at all. I don't manage the trade. I don't piece out of the trade because until I'm really told that we're going to move higher and buyers are back in control, your shorts are invalid, I just have to sit through this thing. And we break above New York, but it's right to the overnight daily view up on the 15-minute, which we'll take a look at in a second. And it just keeps on making these lower highs. It even kind of took it out a little bit there, but I survived to the tick. I mean, I don't know if you guys can tell how close that was to stopping me out, that I was fully in the boat of, I'm going to lose this one. That's a shame. But we hold patient. As soon as it gets to break even, thank you very much. 2 hours of my life wasted I'll get out of here, break even, because I don't even want to be in this move anymore. And I was very aware that even if it did move lower, I don't care. The mental capital that I just spent, even though I wasn't really stressing, because like I said, in my mind, I lost the trade. I'm willing to accepting the loss before it even lost, which is good. But the mental capital that it spent of just sitting sideways through here, that to sit through drawdown for 2 hours, and it's finally now giving me a chance to get back to my break-even price and get out with no harm done. If I don't do that, and it comes back into drawdown, and maybe even eventually stops me out, which it would have. If we go over here to the charts, you can see it would have eventually stopped me out anyway. So it was a good pull back at break even. But let's put it on the other side. If this were to come lower and win, if I left that money on the table, the mental capital of having a chance to close break even here after 2 hours of drawdown and not doing it and taking the loss anyways, not healthy, it would not be great for the rest of my week to come in the day tomorrow and try to trade better, right? Recognizing that these are not the ideal conditions for my trade. They should not take 2 hours of drawdown and then finally move. We're looking kind of ranging. A lot of the gas was clearly moved at the start of the day. We're not really trending anymore. I could always just come back in tomorrow and find fresher ideas, fresher trend, more moves to be had. Today's not the day. So let me not push it. Let me not push my luck of going from red to break even. Let me not push it and ask to be big green. If I can walk away undamaged, I'll come back tomorrow and find a better trade. And that was the right play again, because I did good not moving the stop loss. And I did good just walking away, not being greedy for. A lot of the times you can get through drawdown, you're back at your entry price. Some people are saying, yes, finally, this is going to now go lower. Let me ride this for a new low a day. But I was just recognizing this isn't really the cleanest trade. I don't hate the entry, but I probably should have been stopped out. I had a good stop loss, right? You look at ES that whole time, it was above its New York, which is why I thought I'd probably get stopped out on my NQ, because it's just moving sideways. But eventually, it does pop higher. So I got a great exit, a fortunate exit that it came right to my entry point. If my entry was like 4 points lower, I wouldn't have gotten there technically, and then I wouldn't have closed it, right? So just a fortunate turn of events. But overall, clean execution on the stop loss placement of not hugging it too tight, because I also talk about this all the time. If I put on, let's say the short was on this turn here. If I get stopped out there on this lower high here, and then I see a play around New York, maybe I'm going to want to jump back in there or jump back in on that break, saying, oh, that's a clean break of New York. Let me put a stop loss there. You could just very quickly overdo it, overtrade with these tight stop losses when it's really still the same idea. The first idea is still in play. We're still playing around with the New York, and that's how tilt can come in, because you're overtrading, trading too many times before one idea is even played out. You're not seeing the ideas through. So the fact that I just gave it the room to do its thing, I'm taking one trade. I'm either right or I'm wrong. And I wasn't really right, but I wasn't wrong, and I didn't lose money. So it was a very interesting day. But there really wasn't a clean way to get in on this NQ move on its way down. Like I was saying, the only one was that break off of New York, but open range was still setting. Not super interested in that, but I did actually like this ES one. We thought about it on stream, but if you hesitate, you miss it. This was here on same thing. NQ was already bearish to start the morning underneath VWAP, so I was setting in the short bias over here on ES. Same thing though, it's mid-range. It's kind of trying to take the New York VWAP, not the greatest take, and it's very easy to say in hindsight, even if I sold it there or there, it all would have made money. But after this New York VWAP retest, it just ran without us. No real pullback. So, is what it is. Didn't lose money, didn't make money. We'll take that. If we go back to the month here, we're still in great shape. Keep stacking the days. This was on new accounts today too as well. So if we just go to all the accounts, we're still very healthy today. That would have been also a bummer to start these 3 accounts on top one with a loss. But we'll take the $8 per account and move on with our month. So we're going to still keep working with these sim pros on the top. And now we're adding some more trades to the mix with just the regular straight to sim funded. So no intraday trailing drawdown. So I'll let you guys know about both of them. Always feel free to check out their sale that they're running right now with code Evan. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully you guys didn't get chopped up like I did, or hopefully you had a good stop loss and maybe walked away small red, if not small green. Because a lot of people did take the shorts on the stream this morning on the short side and made some money. So hopefully you guys did as well. Appreciate you tuning in. See you guys on the charts tomorrow morning.